What's up, boys? It's a Nostalgic Gaming channel back at it again with some Age of Mythology content for RTS Sunday. Today, we're going to be tackling mission number 18, A Long Way Home. Last time we were on Manra, this time we're Chiron. We're looking for those pieces of Osiris. Let's get back to it in beautiful Egypt.
North of here, a great tamarisk tree grows from the riverbank. In its trunk, we will find the head of Osiris.
Chiron, soldiers approach!
I am Njordseer. We're following the One-Eye. We've tracked him all the way from Midgard.
The One-Eye? Gargarensis? The Cyclops?
Aye, he has united the giants up north. Much of Midgard now lies in ruin. We were sent to follow him in hopes of preventing Ragnarok,
Ragnarok?
the end of the world. Have you seen the One-Eye?
He is here. We are fighting against him as well. Will you join us?
We will.
So here with Chiron, this is our first introduction to the third faction.
Follow him back to his camp. Perhaps they can help us.
Right, this is our introduction to the third faction of the Norse, right? Now, we don't get the benefits or the playstyle of the Norse, we just get...
Noble one, protect us. We shall help you fight your way to the tamarisk tree.
We just get the units for the Norse, and they're not replenishable, so if they die, they're gone, right? But it's still a pretty cool little intro to them, right? You get to see how the ox carts work.
Seek out and destroy these tombs in the desert, and the attacks will stop.
So specifically with these ox carts, they're like mobile buildings where you can drop off resources. So they're super helpful in a mission like this where resources are scarce, right? That's one of the strongest points of the Norse, is they're very flexible. Since we have cavalry in this situation, we can't, but most normal base Norse units can actually build structures. So when you're fighting, if you want to reinforce yourself quickly, you can build another building, you could build a unit production center, you could build a fortification area, you can build some walls. So the ability to have movers on the fly is unique to the Norse specifically, and it's super helpful because you could change tactics, you could fortify an area, you could lock down a choke point. Like when I was younger and I played this game, I didn't understand. I said, this is cool, you can build with the workers, right? But I thought it was different and I didn't really like it as much. Oh look, there's a relic right in the corner. Who'd have thought? Right next to gold. So yeah, but I didn't really appreciate how valuable it is to build on the fly like that. And now looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that's like one of the coolest things you could do. Imagine bringing an actual war unit over and being able to build it, having it defend itself, unlike a civilian that walks much slower than the actual units. So in this particular mission, as you can see, I'm destroying this temple here. If you fail to destroy these ancient temples, you end up getting attacked by pretty strong mummies at a pretty consistent rate. So I found one pretty quickly, luckily. So I was able to knock it down, right? And I forgot that the beetles send out like poison juice when they're dead. So I want to remove my troops, that way they don't take that damage, right? But destroying that old temple, it definitely, especially that close one, it's going to prevent me from losing a lot of troops and villagers later, because those mummies wreak havoc on you if you're not expecting them there, right? So the main point of this whole mission, like what you're trying to do, obviously, you know, stop Gargarensis and whatnot, but the main point of this mission is there's a large tree in the middle of the map, right? And you have to take enough workers to chop down the tree because it holds the piece of Osiris in it, right? The tree is heavily defended on both, or on the left side of the map, with very strong units that rebuild very quickly when they attack you, or if you destroy their army. In this one, the AI doesn't mess around. They're very smart, and they're very likely to kill you if you're not on your A game. So this is for sure one of the harder missions, because not only when you get to the tree, you have to fight your way to the tree. Once you fight your way to the tree, then you have to defend the tree, right? And you have your most vulnerable units, which are your villagers over there. So if you have all your villagers go over and cut the tree, you're not getting resources, so you can't rebuild your army for the strong army coming. But if you have too few villagers, it's going to take a long time, and then the armies are just going to keep coming and attacking their bases. It took me several attempts to kill them. They're very well fortified in this one. And granted, when I played this too, I was not at my A game. As you saw in the last game, I was not on my A game. And I ran through 3 missions that day, and this was the second of the 3. So that might have contributed to it a little bit. But on this particular mission, gold is scarce. So you have to find gold out kind of in the middle of nowhere. And that's where you get the ox cards, right? Because you're going to have to mine from far away. We'll get a little scouting expedition here from the enemy. So I would love, and I don't know if it does, I don't know enough about like programming and whatnot, and this game is very, very old. But I would love if, you know how Gargarensis used his vision eyesight earlier? If he could see my troops and then he builds like counter troops to fight the troops that I have. Like the little rock paper scissors, how pike or spearmen beat cavalry, and archers beat infantry, and infantry beat you know, the little rock paper scissors. So this is a little bit of a stronger force attacking us here, but obviously they're no match for us, right? They are giving our temple a decent amount of damage, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not worried about it because if they're focusing on the temple, they can't attack my troops, right? And I can always repair the temple, but the troops are going to take a little bit longer to rebuild. We're given the Sphinx at first in the Eclipse God Power, which is good. I'm a big fan of the Myth unit, so having that is going to help us out. But as you can see, resources, even trees around here are pretty scarce, right? And this is how really the desert should be. Like, I mean, from what I've seen in media and whatnot, because I've never actually been to Egypt, and I can't vouch for that. I've only been out to, you know, like Death Valley, deserts like that, where large trees are very, very scarce, and all you get's like little brushes and little bushes and whatnot. Definitely not something you could turn into lumber. So one of the things I want to make sure that I'm doing is having my Pharaoh heal, especially my Norse units. I don't want to lose those because I'm not getting them back. It was nice to have them, right? But I'm definitely not getting them back. So interesting fact about ancient Egypt is they actually had a board game very similar to chess called Senet. And here's a photo of it. So when playing the game, apparently it's, like I said, very similar to chess, right? Where your whole, in this one, the whole mission is get all your pawns off the board, right? And you move them by throwing either a throwing stick or throwing knuckle bones, which are probably like dice, right? But imagine just throwing sticks at each other while you're playing chess. Oh, there's the mummy attack, and here's a regular people attack. And the mummies are pretty strong. They might kill my tower. But imagine like you're playing this like thinking game of Senet, and it's very similar to chess. And all of a sudden you start throwing sticks at each other, and now it becomes a game of brawn. It's not of mind anymore. It's just of throwing sticks. That's my type of game. But the whole point is after you throw your dice, if you get a 1, 2, 3, or 4, that depends on how much you can move. And then you can squish other people's pawns. And if you do, you send them back to the House of Rebirth, which means they're completely moved off the board. Something about, I think they get restarted or whatever. So, I mean, I've never seen it, but it sounds pretty interesting, right? I love me some chess. I do chess on stream every once in a while. I played against a couple professionals too, so, but I got smoked. I got absolutely demolished. So I can't say that I'm a chess master, but I'm basically hop, skip, and a step away from it. But as you guys could see here, that little attack by the mummies, that's our first sign of like, hey, we haven't killed all the temples. And granted, the mummies are more annoying, but if you leave out, like, they come at inopportune times, right? And if you're around the map, they'll attack your villagers, and your villagers obviously have no protection. So it's a difficult nuisance, and the mummies are particularly good against human units because they turn them into littler mummies and they just instant kill them. So that's a nuisance that we have to deal with pretty quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be feeling the pain train later. So we're finally having enough to upgrade our age, and we're gonna go for our rocks. I mean, not our rocks. I'm sorry, our crocodile monsters. That's my favorite unit, and it's gonna be super effective in this with the long range attack to defend that fortified position. And I love me some scorpion, man. I do. I like when they come up and sting the people. That's pretty freaking epic. But in this certain scenario, in this mission, they're not going to be nearly as effective. And I do always like to have, even though I don't use them very frequently, I do like to have the opportunity or the option to fly my troops into an area and drop them off with the rock. Like, that's a extremely strong ability that, to my knowledge, most other factions don't have. Oh, I'm running right into the enemy town center here. This does not seem like a good idea. Get out of there. I am a big fan of building the vision building there. The obelisk. Especially right there, I'm going to have great vision on enemies, and it's going to be like a little early warning sign in case they want to attack me. And for some reason I had the impression when I was doing this that you had to like literally attack the tree or just overtake it and hold it. And so it took me a minute to realize, especially because I was super exhausted, that like, no, I actually have to go and chop down the tree. And this tree doesn't actually give you any lumber, so it's not like you get any bonus from it. You literally are just chopping it down and chop it down and get the Osiris piece. Oh, and we're already ready to upgrade again. And we're picking Son of Osiris. We are picking Osiris. And speaking of Osiris, I also have another fun fact. Because this mission, you get absolutely obliterated by the mummies if you're not careful. I looked up, like, why did the Egyptians, or what's my specific prompt? Why did people get mummified in ancient Egypt, right? So, ChatGPT says that ancient Egypt was a mummification process which was complex and elaborate. It was believed to preserve the body after, it was preserving the body after death. The Egyptians believed in the concept of the afterlife where the soul would continue to exist, and they believed in order for the soul to live, the body had to be preserved and protected. So, I mean, that's kind of similar to like when people get buried, right? Like, obviously they don't do the same process, which, let's see if it says, no, thank goodness it doesn't explicitly say what happens to the bodies, but they get mummified, they take out their organs, they take out their brain and everything. But they believed that it would allow a connection to the physical world, so that way your spirit could continue living, right? It shows respect and honor to the deceased. It prepares you for judgment in the afterlife, so they would undergo purification rituals on the body. And then Osiris, who's the minor god, or the god that we just selected here for our final age, was the god of judgment, and he's the one that would make the ultimate decision on what happened with you, right? And a complex and time-consuming process where they would wrap up your body in bandages and place you in a coffin or tomb. And it really was only for the wealthy or the elite. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that some people got buried with, like, when they had their tomb, I think that they got buried with their, like, if you were a pharaoh, your entire class of helpers, like everyone that worked with you, got buried with you. And they just kind of had to like live in the tomb until they weren't able to anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. But let me double check that, because I don't want to give you guys false info. Okay, so here it says that the practice of burying servants and other individuals with pharaohs, known as burial sacrifice, varied in scale and scope. So it did happen, but the more wealthy or powerful you were, Oh, and not everyone did it, but the more wealthy and powerful you were, the more servants you usually had with you. And they were believed to serve you in the afterlife. So that's kind of, that kind of sucks. Imagine that, like, you're serving this powerful pharaoh, and, like, probably it's an honored position, right? Depending on, your status or whatever. And then you get buried with him, and it's like, all right, for all of eternity, you have to serve this person, right? Even in your final rest, you don't get to, to wild out a little bit or to vibe. Like, you're stuck doing whatever you got to do. Be that cooking or cleaning or whatever other service the pharaoh needs. So that kind of sucks. But hey, I'm sure that they thought it was really honorable to do it, right? And that's why they gave their lives for it. So we got the Son of Osiris here, right? Probably one of the most powerful units in the entire game. One of my favorite god powers of all time, as you guys know. Watching that chain lightning just zap people. This is a zap. It's like having a little baby Zeus. So I get as many opportunities as I can to get the Son of Osiris. I pick it. Oh, it looks like the mummies just snuck right past my base there. Thank goodness they didn't attack my village out there. I think they're on a specific a specific trigger though. So they probably walk over there till they reach your base no matter what you have. And if I had my army intercept them, they probably wouldn't have fought my army. Because, in this game sometimes the triggers are a little bit janky, to say the least. So that's probably the case. And we're always going to power up the double pharaoh, right? The pharaoh, even though I have a hard time effectively using my pharaoh, the pharaoh's a super powerful unit, right? So we're going to make sure that we power that up. One thing that I learned in this mission that really made me sad is apparently your Son of Osiris cannot be healed. If I'm wrong, leave me a comment in the bottom and tell me why I'm wrong and how I don't want to spoil it for you. But what happened when my pharaoh didn't need to happen? Wow, did I almost kill that wall at some point? Look, that wall's all destroyed already. I don't think that I would attack the wall and let that tower wail on me, but I can't say. Maybe it's from the lightning? So I'm killing this temple here because this is the one that makes the mummies, right? Or maybe it's not. I don't think it is. Maybe it's just a decoy. But regardless, I don't want the mummies to come over and get me. Mummies are scary. Mummies are spooky. Like Zoink Scoob, like when they see the mummy and whatnot. Hashtag not sponsored. This is not a State Farm ad. That's just the only clip I could get that said Zoinks in it to get my point across. Oh man, but if that didn't give you guys a little bit of nostalgia, you guys are a little bit young for my demographic here. Because I grew up with that show. Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, peak fiction, right? That was the Hunger Games, or what's a popular thing? I guess that was the TikTok of our time, right? Rather than doing the Renegade or whatever kids are doing nowadays, that was it. But yeah, that gave me Simple Plan there. That gave me a little bit of the nostalgia. But yeah, boys, let's get back into the siege here. So I mistakenly thought that my Son of Osiris here and my tiny but powerful army would be sufficient to siege that little area, right? I think to myself that, okay, like, I have the Son of Osiris, I'm chilling. There ain't no way anyone's beating me. I brought some pharaohs just in case to get my myth units, to get any myth units that I got. I don't really have any frontline infantry. Oh, get out of there, boys. Get out of there. I don't really have any frontline infantry, but I'm not really worried because I'm just going to attack it from range, right? And I figure so long as I attack it from range, it's not going to be that big a deal. So I'm not even looking at my troops. Because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to attack this fortress. And, oh, man, the big guns come out. Look at that army. And it doesn't look huge, right? It's just those elephants are intimidating. And I think to myself, oh, like, I think I got this, right? Let me just micro my Son of Osiris. And then they start getting really close. They're very close to my troops now. But I'm beating them down right now. Look at that. I'm actually surviving. This went better than I remembered. I thought that I had lost all my troops right here. Except for my Son of Osiris, of course. I ran that guy away. Not losing him. For some reason he stopped attacking and he decided to just hang out. And the poor hippo gets caught in the crossfire. Rip. Rest in pepperoni. That's for my boy the hippo right there. Rest in pep. Man, that pizza sure does look delicious. Make sure you guys are hydrating, by the way. We're in the desert out here. And if you guys aren't hydrating, heat stroke and is a major danger. You should be drinking, depending on your health, you know, should be drinking a lot of water a day. I know I've already spoken on it, but I really want to enforce the point that drinking water is a game changer for a lot of people. A lot of people don't feel good, and it's because they neglect their basic needs, including drinking water. So I'm already feeling myself. I'm like, yeah, like we just took out this big army, and I was like, this army doesn't look that big. I got the Son of Osiris. We're just gonna wreck these guys right now. And I'm zapping them, and I'm zapping them. The scorpions are attacking my crocodile men, which I don't like, right? But they just keep coming. Look at them. They're coming at a very steady rate. And I'm kind of picking them off, you know, as they come up. But now they have a larger reinforcement. And those elephants are the bane of my existence right here. Because they're so tanky that they just eat the shots, right? And eventually they overwhelm me. And I'm like, oh man, we gotta get the Son of Osiris out of here. That's the only guy I care about. I don't remember losing a Son of Osiris in my history. And unfortunately, for some reason, he's like the slowest unit I've ever seen. He's getting stabbed, and he's still going so slow. It's time for our run sequence where he tries to get out of here. So I wanted to send some reinforcements out, but I was worried that if they attacked my base, I would have absolutely nothing, so I have to rebuild, right? I need something. Because this could be a loss for us right here. I don't even have any money to make mercenaries. And he's just slowly dying, poor guy. And if he wasn't being followed, I would have just had my guy stand and fight. Oh, thank goodness he made it into the building. And we bring him out on the other side, and he's right back at it. Oh, he zapped the crow, or the vulture. Unintended target. But he used the vulture as a jump stick to attack the other guys, which is pretty goated, right? That's pretty goated with the sauce, if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm a little goated with the sauce sometimes, but that was goated with the sauce. And that's for any of my Zoomer followers there that speak meme, because I don't even know what that means. I know it means you're cool, like the sauce boss. So as you can see, we're still being attacked by mummies, right? And we're running out of trees. There's a major tree in the middle, but that thing does not give you any lumber. So we're going to reassign our guys all the way across the map. I probably should have brought them over here where this guy is, because there's several trees. It's much safer. But hey, sometimes you got to live life on the edge, right? So now I'm starting to think to myself, how am I going to, number one, simultaneously destroy the enemy base with the mummies. Number two, get all my villagers up there. Number three, rebuild my army so I can defend them. So I have a big task at hand here because of my failed attack. My Son of Osiris is at very low health, and this is when I learned that you can't heal him because I tried very hard to heal him, right? So since we're so low on gold, we're going to activate our, enhanced gold mining power. and get ourselves some money, money, money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
That's me living it big after my god power hits and I get all that money. Call me Mr. Krabs because I have all that cash, my first dollar. No, but now that we have a sufficient amount of money, and I didn't know at this point that you couldn't mine the tree, right? I probably should have known better. But secretly, in my heart of hearts, I hope that it'd be like a super wood, and it'd be worth like a little bit more, because it's like from this beautiful tree here. But that ends up not being the case. But I took all my lumbers, because look, I have a lot of lumber, right? I have not been using a lot of lumber, but I have a ton of it at this point. And somehow I made it through without building any houses. Those tents are pretty powerful, apparently. Pretty goated with the sauce. So I'm gonna max out on my houses here. It's always worth it. I know, in like for some cases you can. Wow, that one pharaoh killed my crocodile. But like I was saying, in some cases you can use those free buildings as like cheap walls to keep enemies out. Like when you're playing against actual people, it's a legitimate strategy. It's a pretty decent strategy. I don't know if it would work that. I mean, I guess it would work well against the AI. Why not? If it works against a real life person. But I'd rather use my houses in this situation to actually be houses and provide me with more units. But see, this is the point where once you get to it and you start chopping, the trigger starts where they start sending villagers over to build walls or build towers to attack you and stop you. Those crocodiles come in with the assist to attack the villagers. They're not happy that the enemy killed their brother in, right? So, and that pharaoh's just going to town. I wish that this game had like a kill counter like StarCraft. That way you could see how many units your specific unit has killed. Because my Son of Osiris is probably at least 30 right now by himself. With the zappy, 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 sparky, 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 boom man. Right? For those Avatar The Last Airbender fans. So we're doing our best to protect our pharaoh right now. I mean our Son of Osiris. We do not want him to get killed. I'm hiding him behind my other units. I'm making sure that he's staying safe. This is a pretty large army though. This is the same army that killed me earlier, and I really don't have that much troops. If he's gonna die, he's going down fighting though. We already saw how slow he was. He's not escaping again. Rest in pepperoni, Pharaoh. You will be remembered. No one's gonna forget ya. Well, now's the time to get my villagers out of here, right? And I know my catapults aren't gonna make it, so they're gonna go down with the fight. And they're gonna kill everything that they can. And back at home, we max out on structures here, right? And somehow, my catapults may have made it out safe. Nope, they're getting attacked from two little, and it's sad, it's two little grunts, right? It's two little slingers. But there's no way my catapults, oh, he aggroed both of them. Oh no, he aggroed the scorpion, man. You know, it would make more sense if they had two little guys running alongside the catapults to show like, hey, these catapults are being operated by people. I mean, catapults can't roll themselves. Or if the catapult was being pulled by like a cart or a donkey or something. You still, I mean, granted, this game was from 2000, you know, earlys, and they probably didn't care about that as much. They wanted to function rather than quality of life changes. But it would have been nice to see like a little man running next to the catapult. Like for the Norse, they have a handheld ram, and those guys hold the ram, and if I remember correctly, they make the motion of ramming, right? We've seen the mission with the gates where you have Gargarensis and all his troops, and you know, they take time, they wind up, they ram. It looks pretty good. That's why I'm a little bit disappointed about the catapult, because it's just like a rolling, you know, rolling car at that point. Oh, why did I send my champion chariots to go rescue Chiron? I don't know why I did that. That was a terrible decision. That was a mistake. He ends up dying anyways, and I lose 3 champion chariots, 4 champion chariots now. Those units are pricey. Maybe I figured that there wouldn't be any force over there and I'd be able to scoop them in and get out. That clearly was not the case. So the enemies kind of thoroughly whomped me a couple times, right? They've attacked me. They've stopped me from destroying the tree. They've killed my Chiron. They've killed my son of Osiris. Like, they're sitting pretty right now. They're probably pretty happy with what they got. But little do they know, we got a massive army building up here. Right? We've got so many reinforcements from the surface coming that they're not going to know what hit them. They'll never see it coming. We're going to lead him with our pharaoh, right? And the one thing about the carts there is it gets kind of confusing to see the carts. Like, I don't want my guys to run into the carts. I don't want to accidentally grab the carts. So that's a little bit tricky when I was at that choke point there to get them to effectively go forward. Oh, we have 2 pharaohs coming into the mix. Good. We want our champions out there front and center, right? Champion slingers, champion chariots. Let's just watch us demolish these guys. So with those frontline cavalry people, I'm actually getting a lot more damage put out by my damage dealers, my range guys. So it's nice to have it because that camel rider can soak up some of the shots. And this is when the Nostalgia Gaming Channel special comes out. This is the secret strategy, the secret play, the sneaky unit production center. We're gonna make sure that we're able to build on them and always reinforce, right? They're not gonna get the opportunity to defend themselves. Because we're going to be pumping out champion axemen, champion slingers, and we're going to get some vision, right? What did Obi-Wan say to Anakin? I have the high ground, it's no use. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. You're a wizard, Anakin, right? All those things. He said them all. Or no, I hate sand. That's a good one too, right? That one's a meme. But with our large army there, our victory is all but assured at this point. I probably should have built some walls in the Midgall fortress, but you know, I'd rather build troops. And you don't even need at this point to have the camel cart there. That's more of me not understanding because I was still hoping out that I might be able to get lumber. But you know, because the troops aren't retrieving anything, they're just chopping, or the villagers. So you don't have to worry about that camel cart. I mean, that would be kind of cool if that was the case. Like, hey, that would help you out and punish those that were reckless and lost their camel carts and had to build little resource drop-off points. But hey, we can't ask for everything, you know? So at this point, I want to get revenge for my boy Chiron, my boy the son of Osiris. So we're gonna storm the enemy front here. We're gonna do a double-pronged attack. We're gonna attack from the left. We're gonna attack from the right. Oh, I lost a pharaoh. It's okay. I have infinity troops coming, and I have so much gold now. Look, I did a inverse relationship on my resources. Now I have way too much gold and not enough of anything else. which is harder to do, I think, because I mean, in the late game, because most of the time you need gold for all troops, because who doesn't want to get paid to fight, right? Like, who doesn't want to get paid? But, like, meat, you only need for some, lumber, you only need for some, faith, you need for some. Well, obviously, you know, some myth units don't need gold, but for most human troops, I don't know if there's any that you don't need gold for. If there is, drop it in the comment and tell me. But we have a ton of gold, so I'm going to pump out a bunch of mercenaries. I don't ever build mercenaries, so I wanted to see if I could max them out, or if I could just make a major mercenary army. So now comes a big push, right? And then we kill another temple, but again, this is not the mummy temple. I don't know this at the time. But that is not the mummy temple. I'm surprised it's taking me this long to kill it because it's such a nuisance. And I have so much money now, I'm just pumping out priests. Like, I want to have a full priesty boy army. I'm going to call my choir squad. So we're going to have this smaller army explore on the side to make sure that we're not missing anything, right? Make sure, because I still don't know that I haven't killed the second temple yet. I'm assuming that I had because I killed that other temple, but it's not. That other temple is going to be here on the side. So you can attack the main enemies from two prongs here. Yeah, see, this is how I found out that I didn't kill the other temple. Wow, my mummy turned the other mummy into a little mummy. That's pretty sweet. That's an interaction I didn't know about. So I guess the mummy has the similar power to like Medusa, where you could just turn people into stone, but even better because they turn into a little baby mummy and they start aggroing. But Medusa, I think, is a stronger overall unit because the mummies are so slow, right? And they really don't have that much health or armor or whatever, and they get clapped pretty quick. So I still take Medusa over it. Alright, let's send out our altar boys. Let's have them go handle all the business. Oh, when I killed the old tomb, I got some money. Money, money, money. And I make the mistake of letting my troops get surrounded by that poison gas again, but it's okay. I have so many, it doesn't matter at this point. My catapults are destroying everything that they got. My mercs are coming in. I've got unlimited unit production. And at this point here, I actually max out on mercs. I can't build anymore because I hit the cap for the swordy boys and the horsey boys. See? I didn't even know there was a cap. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? If you have enough money, you can just spam them. But I mean, there's such a downside for building them that when we use our Eclipse here, even though we don't really have that many myth units in the mix, you know, we still want to use it. In fact, I think I only have one myth unit there, and it's a mummy. And we'll get into it. We save Chiron. Sorry, Chiron. Sorry it took me so long. And we get the rest of our boys out there. And I want to just make sure we're not missing anything because there's a little road up here. Get up there, bro. You got it. Thank goodness. Okay, and at this point, they really have nothing left for us, so it's just go and chop down the tree. So I'm going to take all my villagers that I can. I'm going to have them go chippity chop chop. While the rest of my army wreaks havoc upon the enemy. Hey, but seriously, thank you guys for watching. Every time you guys watch the videos, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to even click on it. Hopefully the thumbnails have been interesting. I've been using AI for most of them now recently. I've been trying to incorporate that because it's a new cool thing and I want to see what its capabilities are. We're kind of like in the new age of, you know, exploration with that, so I'm curious to see how it works and I want to help it improve. That way it can help people out in the future or whatnot. So if you guys like those, let me know. If you don't, I'll keep hand making them. It takes me a lot longer to hand make them, but I always think they got that a little bit of a pretty cool quality to them, like kind of a troll quality a little bit. Yeah, and we're running out of space and money for all our acquire boys, but there we go. Hey, no, but like I said, thank you guys. Make sure that you guys are dropping a like and subscribing if you're new to the channel. If not, thank you guys for sticking around. We're going to continue with our weekly uploads. I'm going to probably do a couple shorts just because I think those are funny. If you guys haven't, check out my DJ Khaled one. That one's hilarious. If you do TikTok, you'll recognize it. But thank you guys. We got the Piece of Osiris, and we are victorious. The next one, you're going to like it. We're going to be Arcantos. Don't worry. I'll see you guys on the next one.